friendly enough that it's okay if I just like lay down and talk to you guys at the same time because my feet hurt. This shirt really blends in with this comforter. Just another pillow, don't mind me. I was working my barista job at the cafe today, and my feet, they hurt. However, I had oat milk for the first time today, and I want to applaud whatever crazy kook looked at a bucket of oats and was like, that right there? We could sure make a milk out of that, yeah. Regardless of its lack of udders. Comment your favorite coffee drink down below. I hate coffee, but I love chai tea. And put some oat milk in that. It's a good jam right there. But anyways, people, I had a good reading month. Very nice indeed. And I currently have you guys like sitting on an ottoman, so every time I wiggle, you guys wiggle. So I'll just try my best to move as slowly as possible. But I've had a pretty good reading month. I read 6 books, let me count. One's at the library, yes. And most of them were 4 stars. None of them quite got to the mark of 5 stars, but still, pretty good. However, I did realize something about myself, something eye-opening. I see so many booktubers who are able to read 2 different books at the same time. I tried it. I cannot. I can do it, but my retention of the story goes down. Very much so, because I'm getting facts mixed up. No, computer, you will not update. And it just slows down my reading. Because I don't know about y'all, but I give myself a random number of books, and I add all those book pages up, divide it by the number of days in the month, and if I get 60, that's how many pages I read a day. But this month, I really focused on reading the series Illuminae, so I added all those pages up, divided by 31 January, I guess. And I had to read 65 pages a day. And I was like, okay, I will read 65 pages a day, and then I'll read whatever books I want to on the side. Wasn't a good idea, because I could have hurried up and finished Illuminae, but no. I had to multitask, and it just slowed me down. Because then I was like, oh, I don't really want to read any more of Illuminae, because I already read 65 pages. And then I'd go over to my other book that I'd have sitting on the side, and I'd only read 10 pages of that. So I didn't really get a lot accomplished. But again, good reading month. But let's talk about the library book I currently do not have right now, Black Matter, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This man is very, very smart, and he confuses me so much, but in a good way. And he's very good at writing about the tropes I do not like time travel, parallel dimensions, and making them understandable and good. Dark Matter is a book about a man. I think his name's Jason. Yes, his name is Jason. Jason had a lot of potential growing up. He was a scientifical man. He was on his way to a world-breaking, amazing discovery, for lack of a better term. It would have changed the world. World-changing, that's what I was talking about. But however, he fell in love, and his lady love got preggers. So he had to put his aspirations on hold, and he never picked them up again because he was so invested in his family. Good dad. So now he's just a regular college professor, just squeaking by, not living a really exciting life, but a happy, content life. Good wife, good kid. However, one day, he wakes up, and it's all gone. People are saying he did accomplish all those things. He did find that world-changing discovery, but this isn't his life. He's not married anymore. Where did his kid go? What is happening? Read the book. Now, I really like Blake Crouch's writing style. He has this way of just using the least amount of words for the biggest impact, and I really like that. Because he rarely has paragraphs. Everything's just a sentence, and it makes a fast read, and I appreciate that. But you cannot read a Blake Crouch book with less than 100% attention solely focused on the book, because he's just so scientific. I'm reading this book, and I'm like, wow, you're using so many big words. I'm just gonna nod and pretend I understand everything. Now, I've heard so many people say that they love Recursion, the book that came after Dark Matter, more than love Dark Matter, because apparently the people in Recursion, a book I've already read, their characters are much more fleshed out versus those in Dark Matter. I'm the opposite. I didn't hate, but I didn't really get attached to the people in Recursion. And I think that the main characters in Dark Matter were actually done pretty well. I really like Jason. I truly believe that he was in love with Daniela, I think her name is, his wife. And I felt his emotions. The guy is struggling to find out who was I? Who am I? He's going through some really character-shaking stuff, and he was fascinating. I loved it. But again, back to, like, all the scientific ways of Blake Crouch. The twist in this book, like, I was like, uh-oh, because it was a good twist. It was one that's, like, very obvious if you think about it, but you're just not thinking about it. So, points for that. But because of the way he says it sometimes, so much science. I had to, like, reread that whole page, like, 3 times before I understood what was going on. But on that 3rd try, I was like, oh, we in trouble. But it is a 4-star book to me, because I do think the ending, like, oh, the stakes were getting higher and higher, and then just sort of, like, chilled for a while. Like, I wanted a gigantic fight. We kind of got that, but then just chill the rest of the way. Thrillers like that, you gotta be really careful about the ending, because everything has to wrap up nice. It has to keep that momentum without just, like, plateauing. But my main beef with the book was how it opened. Like, we got into the main plot, like, 10 pages into it, I believe, and that's good. That's really good. I like that. However, like, the foreshadowing of what was gonna happen was, like, it wasn't on the nose. It was, like, stomping a boot into your face over and over and over again. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? What you're telling me is going to happen, probably. So like I said, our main guy, Jason, he's a college professor. He was on his way to discovering something big. He never did, so he's just chilling out now, plateauing. And he and his buddy, who's like more famous in the scientific community over him, I'm so sorry, you guys are probably nauseous. I'm just shaking you everywhere. Stabilize. So Jason and his buddy are just chilling out at the bar, drinking the drinks. I think this is alcohol in sign language, by the way. This is airplane. This is fox. That's all I know. Anyways, the 2 guys are drinking. The more famous guy is like, you know, Jason, my man, if you could change all your decisions in life to finish that work you wanted to do, would you do it? I don't know, man, probably. I just can't believe you gave it up, man. Like, if only you hadn't stopped. Yeah, like, I have a good family. Like, what if you actually did continue your work? What if there's, like, you in another parallel universe who did finish your work? Are you trying to tell me something? I just mean, like, you could have been me and I could have been you. Are you foreshadowing, my good friend? Because now I'm freaked out. I just gotta tell you, you could have been something big. Do you have any regrets? I'm kind of regretting being in this book now because your foreshadowing is all over the place, and now I know something's going to happen to me. Like, I mean, I guess I don't have to guess what the theme of the book is going to be. Oh, what happened if he did continue his work? So that was just a little rubbed in a little too forcefully in the beginning, but still nice. I don't know which book I like more, Dark Matter or Recursion. I think I got more emotion out of Dark Matter, but Recursion, there's like a couple of scenes where I'm like, so much bloodshed, and I loved it. But now let's get into the series that I knew would have some problems. This is Illuminae. See? Very nice covers. I really like them. I love how floppy they are. Floop. I'm chiefly going to talk about just the first book because most of my opinions are the same for each book. So just talking about one will cover the rest of them. Illuminae is a it's a sci-fi novel told entirely by like data logs, audio conversations, chat rooms, all that fun stuff, incident reports. Like, I don't know any other book who's done a format like this. Very unique. I can't even begin to think about, like, how you could, like, imagine all this in your head and, like, put it into something physical. However, it is my earnest opinion that it is the format that actually, like, hurts the book. Because, let me tell you what it's about first. Because if you don't read this part of it, the back, you're gonna be like, what? What is this? What sort of space opera have you dropped me in? So, we're in the future. Oh, we have expanded across the universe. We are going to other planets. We have met aliens. Now, on this little icy speck of a planet called Corinza. Let's just call it Planet Kevin. It starts with a K. On Planet Kevin, there is a mining operation to, like, harvest some sort of, like, illegal substance. I haven't ate today. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. This is what you need to know. Illegal mining operation on Planet Kevin. Okay? That's where our main characters, Caddy and Ezra, are hanging out. They broke up. Very messy breakup. But now there's an invasion. This world is like ruled by companies instead of government bodies, sorta. Or maybe the companies are the government bodies. the world building isn't that great. And this company, Bitech, is attacking Planet Kevin because they want what they're mining illegally. They know they can't, like, run and ask for help for the space police because, hey, what they're doing is illegal. They're not gonna, like, say, hey, help us. Oh, yeah, just don't look at all that illegal mining equipment, please. So, Bitech rains blood and destruction down on their planet. Very few are able to escape onto a fleet of 3 ships, whose names I won't even bother trying to say. The majority of this book is the survivors of this invasion are flying across the galaxy in these 3 ships while being chased by Bitech's gigantic war machine, who is, like, chasing them down to, like, blow their ships up so they can't say to the universe, hey, Bitech tried to kill all of us. Caddy is on one ship, Ezra is on the other ship, but there's some interesting things also going on. We have a plague happening, a really cool plague. The AI who's in charge of, like, the whole ship is fritzing, going loco. And, of course, they got the giant war machine chasing after them, shooting at them. So, it's a lot of drama. Especially the will they, won't they romance between Ezra and Caddy. Now, this next thing refers to, like, all these books. They are extremely fun to read. Extremely fun to read. The characters are funny. However, because we aren't in anyone's head, really, we're just reading their dialogue, their diary, their audio, their chat. You don't get attached to anyone. Like, you can like them, but I didn't really feel anything for them outside of, oh, you're funny. The only one who I am really attached to is Aiden, because we were in his perspective, in his head. We were hearing his thoughts. We got to know him. So because of the format just being so not so personal, I didn't get attached to the characters, and that's a big requirement for me. And also, because the dialogue is natural dialogue, so we're not getting, like, info dumps about the world building. I kind of wanted an info dump, because I had, like, no idea what was happening. Like, it literally just drops you off in the middle of this invasion. You have to figure some stuff out by yourself. And also, I am bad at remembering names. Super bad. And in these books, people have, like, the real names. They have their, like, chat room names, their nicknames. And because, like, you don't get, like, a physical description, or you're not in their head, you don't really, like, they all talk the same, too. Like, if you lined up all their dialogue, you wouldn't be able to pick, Ella said that, Ezra said that, Nick said that, because they all talk the same. Each of the 3 books introduces 2 new characters, usually who have some sort of romantic connection to each other, and they're all really the same. One is tough, one is a hacker, or she's just super smart. There are some parts in this book where you have someone narrating, like analyzing a video, and they're telling you what's happening, and those are my least favorite parts because these people who are narrating what is happening are sometimes, like, getting really too into it and are being too dramatic about it. Because there was this one instance in this book where a guy is narrating a missile being shot at a spaceship, and I had no clue what spaceship shot, and who got shot. I had to go on Spark Notes because I'm like, who died? But luckily, I didn't have any more troubles after that, like, realizing what was happening. I guess I just had to get used to the format. Gemina was my favorite. However, Obsidian, the final, I would give these 4 stars because they were fun. It's just, plot was fine. It was just a lack of character development that I really needed. But Obsidio, it was really disappointing, I believe. Oh my gosh, I just remembered something. I need to look up a word first. Hold on. My phone literally takes forever to turn on. It is so old. But I would say the majority of Obsidio is planning an attack, the big finish, instead of, like, doing it. The only parts I loved were my man Aiden. 2020 greatest villains of all time list. He will be on it, I assure you. Like, I gotta say earnestly, my phone still hasn't turned on. Katie and Ezra, do I ship them? No. Katie and Aiden? Unapologetically, I ship them. For y'all who don't know, Aiden is the AI of the ship, so I think we just need to give him a cyborg android body and just let him and Katie go on a date. Okay, my phone ain't turning on. I quit. My biggest issue with this book was, like, you guys know, it's the MacGuffin. It's the parachute. I hate that parachute. Because I knew what was going to happen. We all knew what was going to happen. Like, wow, way to take the thrill out of it. So I give this a 3.5, and ultimately when I finished the series, I didn't get anything out of it. It was just fun, but not really, it's likable, but I don't think it gave me anything besides Aiden. Aiden gave me everything. He held this book for me, this series. I remembered something. This is probably why Gemini is my favorite, but my favorite part in this book is gonna sound mean when I say it, but in its canon, they killed Leigh Bardugo and Victoria Aveyard. Wow. I mean, they wrote King of Scars and Red Queen, but I don't know if I would have dropped them in a deep space over it. Still made me laugh a little, though. And now it's time for my thriller read, Never Let You Go. This is the book that made me realize that I cannot read 2 books at the same time, because I had to meet my 65 pages of Illuminae series. I would only read like 10 pages at a time of this book, and I actually really liked this book, but I couldn't really remember what had happened before because the amount of times I was reading this book was really spaced out far between. This book is about a mother who escaped from an abusive relationship with her husband, took her young daughter, fled into the night. Her husband got arrested for something, won't tell you what. But he has been released now about 10 years later. My back hurts, pause. And now, he's moved into the neighborhood. Some weird things are happening around the house. Her daughter's being followed. He promised he would never let her go, that if she ever left him, he'd kill her. Is he the same man? Has he changed? Is this all a coincidence? Who can she trust? My favorite type of thrillers are domestic thrillers. And I really like this book. If I ever made a top 10 most gruesome book deaths of all time, this would be on the list. I cannot decide between a 3.5 or a 4. All these books are basically going to be 4 because I don't feel like I can really rate this book because I was having a hard time reading this and this at the same time, and it's unfair for this book because I like it. But because I couldn't remember really what happened in the pages before what I was currently reading, I don't know if there was enough clues for the build-up, for the twist. So in that area, I can't really tell you if it was well done because I just can't remember. However, I loved the mother-daughter relationship in this book. I thought they reacted as a real person would to whatever situation they were. I understood them. I even understood their mistakes. And as bad as it might be to say, I even understood the husband. There are some hints towards a bad childhood, which of course can affect his adulthood and how he would raise his children. I got the mother's worries. I got the daughter's issues. And I will say this again, thrillers have the best dogs. I love the dog in this book. Angus, I think his name is. Maybe Argus. I think it's Angus. He's so cute. Highly recommend it. Tell me if you thought it was a good enough build-up towards the resolution, if there were clues, if it was believable. It had that sort of, if you know what I'm talking about, the Sandlot ending. Our resolution. 5 months later, now we're just living our lives. I don't like that. That's probably part of the reason why I'm 3.5, 4, but overall, still a very good book. Go ahead and read it, my friend. And finally, the last book that I just finished today, January 31st, it's Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Now, this book is a story before we even get into the story. Short version. I like it. Much better than King of Scars. Look at that cover. Look at that snake. It's gorgeous. I like it. It's dark and moody. Oh, forgot to take my bookmark out of it. However, it does have some issues, which is again why I'm teetering between 3.5 and 4. Let me give you the Casey summary of it. Yale University, a college I know zero about. So all this might actually be nonfiction. Apparently, that is where all the witches and wizards go. All the witches and the covens and the monsters and the ghouls. At Yale, there is this secret society of people who use certain types of magic. There are 8 houses, 8 particular types of magic that these 8 houses master. One's a shape-shifting, the other is portal magic, one is necromancy. And the 9th house, it is the overseers of the 8 houses, making sure they are just obeying the rules, not going crazy with their magic. And that's called the House of Leigh, some type of mystical river in the underworld of Greek, I don't know. Our main character, Alex, has been accepted into the 9th house to be an overlooker of all this magic going on because she has a unique ability. She can see greys. Greys are the deceased ghosts, obviously, yeah. The deceased spirits of people who have I keep stating the obvious. She gets to see ghosts. These greys, they tend to be harmless, but they can cause trouble if they get, too excited. So, she's the protector of all the magical rituals going on that draws in these greys. However, some awful stuff has happened. Currently and in her past, she is escaping some bad stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. And she is currently tied up in 2 mysteries. One involving a girl named Tara, the other, her best friend, Darlington, my favorite character, Team Darlington. A girl, Tara, has been found murdered on a Thursday night. That is super important because all the rituals are happening Thursday nights. That's where the houses cut open the belly of a homeless man and read his entrails trying to predict the stock market. I really like this magic system. No one else is wondering, oh, why did this girl get killed on a Thursday night? Except Alex. So she is trying to solve this mystery while also trying to figure out what happened to Darlington. What happened to Darlington? Read the book to find out. He's missing. Why? Read the book to find out. I'm telling you that there's mysteries in this because just by reading the jacket, you would not know this is primarily a mystery. We're trying to solve the murder of a girl. And I don't know about you, but I never pick up mystery books. I love thrillers, which are basically mysteries, but just the mystery genre, it doesn't excite me. And I do think the whole thing with Tara is the downside of the book, because let me tell you a tale. So once I got my 2 library books, this and Dark Matter, I looked at them and I'm like, I'm not really in the Blake Crouch super involved science mood right now, so let me just read some magic. Wrong decision. Now, not only does it have one of those prologues where you're not exactly sure what the heck is happening or where in the timeline it fits in, but it has some massive info dumping in the first 3 chapters. I had 0 clue what was going on. I did not understand why the magic just felt so random, and I really did not like it. I stopped reading it. I was going to finish reading it, just so I can make a rant review about it. I'd even come up with a cool title, 9th House, more like the 9th Circle of Heck, or you could have made 6 of Crows 3 instead of write this, LB. Something really clickbaity like that. Me and my friend, we were at a coffee shop together, and she was telling me, oh, I love dark academia books. And I'm like, I don't. I'm reading one right now. She's like, what's it called? It's called 9th House. I was going to pick that up. Well, don't. I'll tell you why. The magic doesn't make sense. Info dumping is everywhere. And the characters. I've heard someone review this book before, and they had the same issue. They cuss too much. You know, I'm a big girl, I told my friend. I can handle some cussing. But this cussing, it's like the cussing the not really confident person uses to feel more tough. Trying to act tough instead of doing the tough stuff. And I told my friend, it's like they're trying to impress us by acting so edgy, but they're not. My friend's like, yes, I get you. I hate it when characters do that too. I'm so glad you told me this, so I won't read this book anymore. I need to tell her that I actually reread the book. I restarted it, and it's actually pretty good. I put the book down, I picked up Dark Matter, finished Dark Matter, didn't have time enough to finish this because the library loan was due and they wouldn't let me renew it for another 2 weeks. Had to give it back to the library, wait 5 days, then check it out, settle down. I was like, okay, we're going to take notes so we can rant about this. And I don't know if I was just the blow was softened reading it again because I sort of knew what was going to happen. I DNFed it 100 pages, I think. But then I reread those 100 pages and I knew exactly what was going on. I'm like, maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it at that moment. I don't know. But I actually really started liking the magic. I actually really like the characters. Alex, Darlington, and their assistant Dawes. She was pretty fun. Even though she's she's a little tiny rabbit with headphones on. She's not a rabbit, but that's just the impression she gave me. Just a nervous, high-strung character in an over large sweater, just hunkered down in the corner with her book like this, just like staring at everyone, not wanting to be bothered. I related to her. I really liked her. So those 3 characters were great. I think Leigh Bardugo did like sort of overdo it with the scenery and surroundings. Like, it was just too much. Like, can we just, I don't really care what the buildings look like. But I do like the way she described a lot of the characters. There's this guy named Ariel. I did not know that was a guy name, too. And this is, like, my favorite description of, like, any person I've ever read before. Because it sets, like, his mood perfectly. Here. He had wide-set eyes with heavy lids, a handsome face framed by perfectly groomed stubble. He made Alex nervous from moment one. He was too still. Like a creature hunting, and she could sense the violence in him waiting. She saw in the way even Etienne, I think that's how you say it, Etienne deferred to him. The way the parties at the house and Encino grew more frantic, desperate to impress him, to keep him entertained, as if boring Ariel might be a very dangerous thing. Alex had to sense that Ariel, or some version of him, had always been there, that the messy clockwork of men like Etienne and Lynn could not operate without someone like Ariel looming above it all, leaning back in his seat, his slow blink like a countdown. Okay, I get it, he's really dangerous, I like it. So overall, the writing was pretty good, if not sometimes flowery when, like, describing scenery. I liked the main characters. The magic system, I like that it's so serious, but the characters in the book are just so used to it that they, like, kind of make fun of it. Like, it just seems so silly to them, too. I like how kind of casual it was. Like, what I thought was not well explained at first actually, like, what made pretty good sense on my second read of it. However, my main issue is the mystery of what happened to Tara. I think this book would have gotten a 5 from me if it was more on learning the magic, like Alex, like just focusing on Alex and Darlington, instead of like having to deal with whatever's happening to Tara. Because Leigh Bardugo did a great job on the magic, as I said. However, the mystery, she didn't give us enough pieces to solve the mystery by ourselves, so everything felt kind of forced. Like, again, the 3 main characters, Dawes, Darlington, and Alex, they were great. However, everyone else, I can't even remember your names. We only meet you guys like once and that's it, and you're all suspects. Like, there's 3 main suspects for who killed Tara, so-and-so, 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 and I'm like, we only met these people once for like a paragraph. Why are they suspects? And we like rarely talk to them even when we're suspecting them. So there's not like enough clues, really. The resolution just sort of popped out of nowhere. There's a clip of What's New Scooby-Doo that I searched the internet for so I can put here. I could not find it. But it's basically, you know, Velma, the smart one, is about to rip off the monster's mask and expose who it is. And she's like, it looks like the thief was. And it's some guy she's never met. She's like, hold on, how could I predict this? I've never met him before. That's exactly how I felt reading this book. Mystery, it kind of flopped. But I did like the dark magic in it. And it ended in a way where I am very interested in the sequel. I thought this would be a standalone note. It's a series, and I'm excited for the next book. Spoiler tag here. It's my favorite trope. Someone has turned evil. I want it. I do recommend you read it. However, give it your full attention or the magic would just hit you on the head and just make you go, stop, let me breathe. Just take it in stride. You guys, that's the end of my wrap up. I know I could have read more books this month if I hadn't like tried to read 2 at the same time. I will never make that mistake again. Also, fun fact, one of my like New Year's resolutions was I'm going to read all the books on my shelf. So when I was bored one day, I picked up all the books I have not read yet on my shelves, added up the pages, divided it by how many days were left in the year, and I got the sum that I would have to read 120 pages every day to read all the books on my shelf. Half of my brain was like, oh my gosh, I could do that. The other half was like, you could, but you also got other stuff to do. So even though I am going to work hard to finish all the books on my shelf, I'm not reading 120 pages a day because school. But February is going to be a fun month because I'm just going to read a bunch of standalones, some contemporaries and some thrillers. I'm going to read the John Green books besides The Fault in Our Stars, because I've read that twice already. It's made me cry. I love that book. I'm also going to read some B.A. Paris thrillers. She's the lady who wrote Behind Closed Doors, where my main man, Jack, he's not my main man, he's a jerk. Jack, number 5 on my best villains of all time list, because he was just fun. And guys, if you are interested, I have just set up an Instagram, same name as this channel, Lost in a Bookcase. You guys want to follow, if you want to chat, Link is down below. I promise nothing. I have no idea what I'm gonna post, when I'm gonna post. I'm not really a photo conscious person, but I do think it would just be fun to give you guys another outlet to connect with me more. I have these random thoughts all the time when I'm in a bookstore at the library, or I just see like something misspelled on the sign. I'm like, oh, I should have took a picture of that and like showed it to people. I think this would be a good way to do it. In February, this is my birthday / booktube anniversary month, so we're gonna celebrate. And I wish you guys the best of reading. I hope you guys have a 4 or 5 star month like I had. And I will see you guys in the next video. You will see me because I will be wearing the exact same shirt because I am mass filming. So for the next 8 films, you get pastel vintage floral Casey. If one of you guys have a tattoo of a snake like this, I approve. Bye y'all. Pillow fight. Ha!